Welcome to this presentation by which I would like to introduce the new Famous product, the Comby Eeg Cap. At the same time, this will be an educational presentation. Here are some reasons why the Comby Eeg Caps would be the right choice for you. The Comby Eeg Caps are compatible with EEG equipment of different manufacturers. They have been constructed in accordance with the International 1020 system, meaning that each electrode has its own determined place. Detection electrodes are made of gold-plated plates of very high quality, plates made of sinterized silver chloride, which technologically is the most advanced material used in the production of electrodes. The caps are light and airy as they are constructed of a rubber mesh, and each electrode is easily accessible and visible. Each cap has one extra electrode fitted on the OZ spot. This electrode is used when the equipment requires additional grounding or a reference electrode. Mechanical contacts which cause a lot of interference are avoided. Electrodes are no longer placed one at a time, which results in significant time reduction in the process of patient preparation. The testing is now possible in all conditions and positions of the patient, during sleep in case the patient is restless or if it is a child. EEG graphs are of a very high technical quality. There is a significant time reduction in the duration of the whole EEG recording process. The caps are easily maintained and can be sterilized by gas. The quality of the Comby Eeg caps has been electrochemically and clinically tested and approved by relevant reference centers. Pamel's Comby Eeg cap won numerous gold, silver and bronze medals at innovation expositions in Croatia, Belgium, Switzerland, USA, Russia and Slovenia, which only prove the excellent quality of our product. Comby Eeg caps hold the CE certificate. The Pamel company holds the ISO 9001-2000 certificate of quality. The best way to start the educational part of this presentation is with the International 1020 system. This is a schematic view of the International 1020 system. Comby Eeg caps are made in 6 different sizes, 3 child sizes plus 1 cap with 10 electrodes and 3 adult sizes. The referential spots are nasion and inion, and the left and right preauricular pits. The intersection of these two lines is the vertex. Firstly, we will cleanse the forehead and the frontotemporal area with alcohol, since this area is more often exposed to greasing and sweat. Then we will measure the circumference of the head using the enclosed measuring tool and determine the adequate size cap according to the color code. We place the adequate cap on the head. It is necessary to pay attention to the referential spots, nasion and inion, and the preauricular indents, as well as the distance of frontal, occipital and central temporal electrodes from them. Please pay attention also to the symmetry of the left and right hemisphere in relation to the central line. Place the cap so that the frontal electrodes are on the 10% of the distance of the nasion-inion line above the eyebrows in the middle of the forehead. Occipital electrodes are also placed on the 10% marker of the same line, but measuring from inion to nasion. The central temporal electrodes are placed on the 10% of total length of the transversal line, measuring from one preauricular pit to the other. The remaining electrodes are placed at 20% length of the aforementioned lines from each other, which is common knowledge to most EEG technicians. This is an example of a poorly chosen size of our Comby Eeg cap. This boy is 10. However, due to circumference of his head, a red cap meant for adults is required. If we use a smaller cap than needed, we can see that the electrodes are placed on inadequate locations. You can see that FP1 and FP2 are placed too high and do not detect the required areas. The same thing happens with other electrodes. If we choose a larger cap, the electrodes are placed too low. In both cases, the areas where cortical activity is measured are not those chosen by specified electrodes. This can cause an error in the test result interpretation. Naturally, regardless of correct choice of size and electrode placement, EEG potential will be detected. However, the relevant question is, potential of which part of brain? The physician may interpret the results as a perfect image of brain activity. However, the physician does not know whether the aforementioned rules of electrode placement have been satisfied. This is up to the good education and the integrity of the EEG technician. If our patient is more sensitive and has a problem with the fixation of the cap below the chin, or if the recording session is a long-term one, the cap can be fastened on a belt. Under each electrode, it is necessary to apply electroconductive jelly by using a plastic applicator. Using the same applicator, push the patient's hair aside and lightly abrade the skin below the electrode. It is not necessary to clean the skin with alcohol. It is very important to apply the jelly only under the electrode, not around it, not to dampen the hair between two electrodes and short-circuit them. Should that happen, the EEG result will show a flat line, meaning that the electrodes were short-circuited and share the same potential. Connecting the Comby Eeg Cap to the EEG machine. When the EEG machine has a 25-pin connector on the headbox, the Comby Cap is connected directly. If the machine does not have the 25-pin connector, the cap is connected using an adapter cable. It is important to emphasize that different EEG machine manufacturers have different ways of wiring electrodes through the connector. Therefore, it is important to know to which machine the Comby Eeg Cap will be connected to. If the adapter cable is being used, this information is not necessary. The patient is now being connected to the machine. It is necessary to check the electric resistance of the electrodes. If some resistance values are not as specified, you will have to apply some more jelly and abrade the skin on the scalp a bit more. If everything is in order, the recording may begin. It is recommended that the patient's room is separated from the EEG machine and that the patient is in relaxing position and not exposed to bright light and noise. Now you will see how to use bypass electrode. If an electrode should break, it can be easily replaced. For example, if the FP2 electrode breaks, it can be pushed aside and the replacement electrode put in its place. The replacement electrode is directly connected to the connector on the headbox. Recording can be done this way until an expert repairs the cap. Please let me offer a few important tips about the maintenance of the Comby Eeg Cap. It is necessary to clean the electrodes with a cotton wool stick soaked in alcohol before the cap's first time use or after a longer period of time that the cap has not been used. After finishing the daily recording session, the cap should be washed with a solution of warm water and liquid disinfectant detergent. Rinse it and clean it with a towel and leave it to dry till the following day. Make sure there is no dried up gel on the electrodes because it creates a high resistance layer which prevents testing. Use only cotton wool sticks soaked in alcohol to clean each electrode from remaining gel on each electrode. Sterilize the caps with gas when needed. The electrodes should be maintained according to manufacturer instructions. Once again, I would like to emphasize that it is not permitted to use only some sizes of the cap for all circumferences of the head because it is in violation with the International 1020 system, which leads to the wrong results interpretation. Frequent application and movement of electrodes can damage or break a rubber net for which the manufacturer holds no responsibility. I hope that you find this CD presentation useful and helpful and that it serves as a good guide on your use of our product. It will also provide you with some useful tips in some unpredicted problems should arise. By choosing the Comby Eeg Cap to equip your EG lab, you have made a step forward towards professionalism. Primarily, this product will satisfy your patients as well as your EG technicians who now spend less time placing electrodes. The end result is an EG graph of a very high technical quality which allows a medical diagnostician to have a clear readout with no artifacts.